This is Bosch's brand new lightweight motor, the SX, and it's coming to a ton of lightweight e-bikes soon. And this is Bosch's brand new PowerMore 250 watt range extender. In fact, Bosch have got an entire suite of new stuff coming out. So let's take a quick look at their first lightweight motor in a little bit more detail. So the lightweight market has been really hotting up over the last year. Just recently, Specialized released their new Superlight, the SL version 2 with 50 Newton meters. Trek partnered with TQ to bring out the fabulous Fuel EXE with a 50 Newton meter motor, and Fazua released their Ride 60 system, 60 Newton meters. I think that has a peak of 450 watts. Anyway, there's loads of e-bike systems coming out for the lightweight segment, and it seems that Bosch now want a little piece of that pie as well. So they've just released today the Bosch SX motor, and stats wise on paper it looks really impressive. So here we have Bosch's demo bike. This is from a frame manufacturer that I'm not sure who it is. It looks to me like something like a Bulls or something like that. I'm at Eurobike for the next few days, so maybe we'll see it there, but don't pay too much attention to this frame or this setup because this is just a demo bike that Bosch are using. So here we have Bosch's new SX motor, their super light electric mountain bike motor for 2024. Headline stats: 55 Newton meters of torque, 2 kilograms. So that's pretty light. Their existing motor is about 2.8 kilos. So it's about 800 grams lighter than the existing Performance CX. But I guess the headline figure on this is that it peaks at 600 watts, which is pretty amazing really for a motor of this size to peak at 600 watts. And Bosch say that it actually can deliver 600 watts peak at over 100 RPM cadence, which is where a lot of lightweight motors start kind of giving up. Once you get to over 100, they really can decrease in power, but this is putting out its peak power at just over 100 RPM. So to give you some comparisons, the new SL motor puts out around 300 watts, the Fazua puts out 350 watts, and it's got a 10-second override that gives you 450, but this peaks at 600, so it just gives you an idea of just how punchy this motor is on paper. At 2 kilos, it's also in line with all of the lightweight motors. Now, in terms of the battery, they use a new 400 watt-hour battery. And the energy density of these new 400 watt batteries is the highest energy density per kilogram on the market right now. So this 400 watt-hour battery in here weighs just 2 kilos. So this entire system, the motor and the battery, weighs just 4 kilos. The motor 2 kilos, the battery another 2 kilos. To put that into context, the big Bosch, the full fat 750 watt hour battery, weighs 4.4 kilos just for the battery. So this is 4 kilos for the battery and the motor. So it's a 400 watt hour battery versus a 750. And Bosch say they've got the most energy density battery on the market at 200 watt hours per kilo. So as a system weight at 4 kilos for the motor and the battery, a little bit, maybe 100 grams or so for the little smart controller, they're really light, and the system controller. As an overall package, it is very, very light. And because you're getting up to 600 watts of power, sounds like on paper it's a real powerhouse of a lightweight motor system. So it's in line with the competition at 55 Newton meters. The new Spec is 50, the TQ's 50, the Fazua 60. Newton meters are really difficult to tell just how powerful they are, and I always look for the watts, the pure watt figures, because that gives, I think, a more pure indication of the power output from the motor. Newton meters is quite difficult to understand, but at 600 watts, this really does kind of crush the competition at peak power. I don't know how long you can maintain that 600 watts, and it is only at a higher cadence above 100 RPM. But that 600 watts peak figure is pretty impressive. Now, the motor characteristic is very familiar. After my really short test ride, I can feel it almost like a mini Performance CX. The EMTB mode works in exactly the same way. The kind of overrun works in almost an identical way. In fact, it feels like a mini Performance CX motor. It feels instantly familiar to me to get on and start pedaling. So we've got the same system controller that's made its way onto most of the e-mountain bikes for 2023-24. Super neat, super discreet. Everything is really familiar. The mini remote The Bluetooth mini remote also carries over. You can also get a power tube range extender. It's called the Power More. It's not on this bike here, but it will fit onto the bottle cage and it will replace the bottle, and it will give you an extra 200 watt hours in addition to the 400 that is already in there. Now this Power More range extender also will work on the full fat e-bikes. As long as the frame has been tested and it will fit in the bottle cage, which for a lot of them it will, you can actually use that range extender on the existing full power Bosch bike, so that is backwards compatible. So if you have a 750 watt hour battery in your Bosch bike right now and your frame is compatible, by putting on the 250 range extender you've actually got 1 kilowatt of battery energy, which is pretty amazing. I don't think there's many bikes out there that you can get with 1 kilowatt of total energy density on your batteries. I struggle to use an entire 750, but it would mean that I can get some massive days out with a 750 battery and an extra 250 range extender. So it's good to see that Bosch are making it backwards compatible. Now what was fairly interesting is Bosch didn't mention noise levels at all in the presentation, but I've got to say it isn't the quietest. There's definitely some noise under power, and there is a slight rattle that I noticed, but I definitely need to do more testing. This is not a silent, stealthy motor though, that's for sure, but I wouldn't consider it excessively noisy either. There's some bikes coming out over the next few months from some really cool brands that I cannot wait to share with you. So this lightweight segment is really hotting up, and now Bosch have entered this market, and this looks like it's going to be a really strong contender. I'm looking forward to testing this out some more. Subscribe for more content. I've got loads more coming up over the next few days, including Eurobike, where no doubt we'll see more of these lightweight e-bikes with this motor in. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you soon.